It's my dad's birthday tomorrow and I've got a great idea for a gift for him. So I need to make that today because we are heading over to his house for lunch tomorrow. My name is Rachel and I usually post quilting videos here on this channel. So a little bit of a story first about how I came up with this idea. I was at the local footy with my dad watching my son play, and it was a rainy day. This was a few weeks ago. And he said, "Oh, just stay there. I've got a towel in my bag. In my car, I'll wipe down the bench seat." So he went off, he came back and he wiped it down. And he showed me this towel that Mum had made him, which was basically taking a full-size towel, slicing it down the middle and hemming it so that it was a long, skinny towel. And he said it was perfect for his golf buggy to clean up his golf sticks before he put them back in his bag after each shot. And he loved the length of it. And he did mention that this one's getting a bit grubby and needs a wash, and it did look quite worn. So I immediately thought, oh, that would be a really good idea to make him some new ones. So the colors that my dad loves are navy and red, and this is because it's his footy team, which is the Melbourne Demons, are navy and red. I'm going to appliqué his initials on each towel. So he'll have two towels that he can rotate through the wash. They'll both be the same. So I found a navy towel from Kmart. So I'm going to slice this down the middle, hem it. Then I just went to the op shop and found this kid's fleecy jacket. It's a beautiful color red. So I'm going to use this fabric to appliqué his initials MB on the bottom of each towel. So yeah, good project if you have a man in your life that likes golfing, and then you could make it his favorite colors as well. So first steps, cut, and I'm just going to be turning it over, once and then twice, and then doing a stitch line. I've just come up to my bedroom to be able to tell you something. Not the best day for filming with a full house and family. So my son's in the kitchen making and eating pies, and my husband's watching the footy on the couch next to me. So I can't actually talk to the camera. I can only film. But I went to find a bobbin to put the navy onto a new bobbin for the project. And as in the same tub as the bobbins, I found some navy binding, and I must have picked it up at a second-hand craft shop that we have here in Brisbane called Nest, and I measured it, and it is exactly the right length to run the 2 rows down the middle of the towel. So, and it's the perfect color. So now I'm actually thinking, instead of folding it over twice, which would be quite thick to sew, I'm going to do it with the binding if it goes front and back, right? And facing if it's just folded all the way to the back. Yeah. So I'm going to stitch this on to the front, and then I'm going to play around to see if it will work as a binding or whether it needs to fold all the way over to become a facing. But I think this will give a much nicer finish. And so that's what I'll be doing, but I'll just have to film, and if I need to talk to you, I'll have to come up here and talk to you. You need to lay the right side of the binding on the right side of the towel, and you're going to run a row of stitches down the first little fold line. At each end, you actually fold the edge of the binding around and to the back, like I've shown you there. You'll see at the end that gives you a really neat edge. Continue stitching right to the end of your towel. And again, as you did at the start, you will fold, sorry my hands are in the way, you'll fold the end of the binding around the bottom. I also went backwards to secure the stitch. So then you can see you pull the binding out and then fold it over. So here I'm deciding whether it looks good as a binding or whether it needs to go all the way over and be a facing. So you'd have the full centimetre at the back rather than sort of a ½ centimetre on each side. And I decided it needed to be a facing because the binding was not thick enough, wide enough to have enough for the front and back. I had to fiddle with the fabric until I was happy with how it was placed, nice and neat. I did use a little fabric bunny to get my stitching started, and then I did have to lift my foot to sort of get that end under. And I'm running a row of stitching on the very edge of the facing. I did go backwards to secure my stitch. The hardest part was that end of the towel that was quite thick. The main towel, the middle of the towel, was much easier. The towels look really professional. A beautiful, neat facing. It looks so good. I'm really pleased with it. And I think it's a better method than folding over twice because I think that would have been so bulky. So if you can find some binding or make some binding that's the exact color that you need, I think I'd recommend that. Okay, next step is to use this fabric to make 2 letters, M and B, to applique onto the towel. I'm going to be using the Legacy Heavy Duty Fuse Under paper-backed fusible web. I did buy this in Spotlight Australia, however I can see that it is blurry, proudly made in America, so if you are in the States you should have this brand. So decide how large you want your letters. I have made mine quite large. Remember to draw your letters back to front, as I've done with the B. The M is also back to front. Okay, this piece doesn't really have a wrong side, but you would place so this has the blue on this side, and this is just paper. So I would iron this on. On the box it says to do that for 5 to 8 seconds with a hot dry iron. All right, we can do that. So I've just roughly cut around the letters. Hot dry, so no steam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that kind of burnt that. That looks good on that side. Just really flatten that fleece on the back, which is fine, no worries. Okay, these have cooled down, so I can now cut along the line. So now this is the proper thing. So even though I didn't use a ruler, I just eyeballed it because I'm like that. But I can make a nice straight cut. If you're not confident with your drawing skills, what you can do is print out some text, like make some text in Word and then print it out and then use that as templates. B and that looks awesome. So let's see what it looks like on the blue. This is gonna look, oh, he's gonna love that. That's sick. Okay. Gonna look awesome. Let's see if I can cut these out with these. Oh, that's cool. That looks striking. Awesome. Once you decided where you'd like them, you have to peel off the paper. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Okay, and that has a glue on this side now. So you pop it down where you want it. I think I want them on the side, do I? Or do I want them in the middle? I don't know, I think I like the side better. There? Yeah. Okay, and I'll just make sure they are lined up. Check the instructions. 10 to 15 seconds. This is going to flatten my flannelette. Oh, iron at wall setting, which is less than hot. Okay, so that's good. Always use a damp press cloth. Okay, a damp press cloth. So I'll get a hanky. That's what I use as press cloths. And dampen it. I'm nervous. Okay, I'm going to do one letter at a time. So what is it, 10 to 15 seconds, is that what it said? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh good, it didn't flatten the fabric as much as I thought. Okay, so this is quite, the M's big. I need to do half and half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did that just move? Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, hopefully that will all. Yeah. Okay, so that's in place. So when it cools down, obviously I'll do the other one, and when it cools down, we'll go back to the sewing machine and we'll do a very tight zigzag, almost a satin stitch around all the edges to hold it in place when it goes through the wash. Okay, at my machine, I have tested on a double piece of the red fabric to just check my tension and what size I want. So it is on a stitch width of 5 and a stitch length of 1.5 for my zigzag. And I have navy on the bobbin, red on the top, and you can't see the navy coming up to the front. So that's perfect. So now I stitch around each of my letters nice and slowly so that I get it as neat as I can. And here is the final result. Very neat and tidy. It looks really professional.
It's a bit over the top, don't you think, Lala?
No, no.
It's
not
incredible.
For 75. That's great.
Handmade by Rachel.
Well,
So it's a quilt. It's a mini quilt.
No.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
What's up? Oh.
It's a scarf.
Draw them. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rach. That's amazing. How good's that?
Straight to the golf bag.
Straight to the golf buggy.
In the pool room.